So here, I do want to start the show off here with Garry Cobb. By the way, it's a Fox game on Sunday on Fox 29 in Philadelphia. It's a 1 p.m. Eastern game against the Cleveland Browns. And I'm going to read these stats here to you, okay, before I bring Garry up. Here are the Cleveland Browns entering the game. They're 31st in offense. They're 29th in pass offense. They're 26th in rush offense. They're 27th in scoring offense. They're 32nd in third down efficiency. Defensively, they're 11th in total D. They're 10th in pass defense. They're 20th in rush defense. They're 15th in scoring defense. They're 18th in red zone defense. They're 7th in third down efficiency. How come I feel like this game's going to be close on Sunday? Let's bring Garry Cobb from Fox 29 in here. And this is going to be interesting here. Garry, I appreciate it, my friend. Hey, Garry,
how you doing?
How about this? The Eagles have not reported yet to the NovaCare Center. They've had the entire week off last week, and now they'll be showing up on Wednesday when they get their game plans, and they'll be ready to rock and roll for the Cleveland Browns. Much deserved 2-2 record and getting killed by the Bucs. Very rewarding, huh?
Yes, it was. The thing about it is, they have really struggled. And really, I don't know whether you could put all of it on the coaches. Part of it's on the coaches, part of it's on the players. But they haven't been getting it done. I mean, I think that's very clear. And, of course, that starts with the quarterback. Jalen hasn't been playing well, turning the ball over. And really, the coaching-wise, I mean, you go into that last game, why aren't you going to feature Saquon Barkley? I don't see how you don't think that through. He's your best player. You got a good offensive line. You're not going to go in and try to run the ball, to have some possession, to keep it away, from what was a, pretty good offense. And, Tampa Bay has had success against the Eagles. And so why do you don't go in there with that type of game plan? And then ultimately he makes a play that kind of gets you back into the game. He's the guy that's been making plays for you all the time. Why don't you run the ball to keep it away from Tampa Bay? I don't understand it. So it's not just the players, but the coaches got to take some responsibility for what happened in Tampa Bay, because that was very disappointing. Coming up against Cleveland, we talk about that, but Tampa thing, we cannot be feeling good about what we saw there, both from the players and the coaches.
Garry, I'll ask you this question here now. We threw this out in the first hour here. Has Jalen Hurts become an offensive liability to the Eagle offense?
I don't think it's going that far. He hasn't played well. I mean, with turning the ball over, that is a problem. And that's going to be an issue. But I do think, though, that he's shown, though, that, he can make things happen. And I think, in fairness, they haven't been at full strength. And without their weapons, they're not the same team. You take away A.J. Brown, I mean, if he's playing for any team, you take him away, it hurts the offense. So the fact they got him, and then they had Devontae out, you got your two best receivers aren't playing. I think you got to go into that game, like I said, and go, we're going to feature Saquon Barkley. In fact, we're going to go in, we're going to try to run the ball. And the fact that you don't do that when you got, I mean, does anybody know the names of any of the Eagles wide receivers? Come on. I mean, the guys they had out there, these guys haven't played any, they haven't played for the Eagles. So I don't see how you don't go into that game, especially with what Saquon Barkley has given you. You got a guy that you can feature and run the ball, and then you throw the ball off of that. You go play action pass. Once you get the running game going, it's the only way I think they could go into that game saying we can win this game is we have got to control the ball. The only way we can do it is with Saquon Barkley, and then with whatever passing game we can have off of that. But we think we can run the ball on these guys, and we can impose, our will on this team. That's the only hope that I saw in the game. But, of course, they go into it. They're going to throw the ball when we don't even have anybody to throw the ball to. I don't get it.
Garry.
So I don't put that all on Jalen, even though he didn't play well. Yeah.
Going into this weekend, the earlier show brought this up, and I went and looked it up. So this weekend, Vic Fangio has never had a number one defense in his entire time. He's never won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going against a coordinator that has a Super Bowl championship as a coordinator in Philly. Last year, he was the defensive assistant coach of the year. He's got a top-flight defense. And I look at that, and he's got Myles Garrett, by the way. And there's people all over that defense that can play some football.
Yeah, you're right.
That's going to be a challenge here. So when you look at Vic Fangio here, how come I'm becoming less impressed with him, with his scheme? And Garry, it's not because I don't think he's a good coach. I think he's a poor fit because they don't have the personnel to play his system. I mean, don't you agree? If you're going to hire somebody, this goes back to that front office stuff with plug and play. Just because Vic's a good coordinator doesn't mean Vic is going to take the personnel you have, Howie, on the roster that you assembled and turn them into a top 5 defense. Doesn't it have to be that the coordinator should have some say in the type of personnel he has for him to be able to come in and play?
Well, really, the way the defense is played, I don't know any defensive coordinator really that's going to do well when you got linebackers that are not tackling well. Not all of them. I guess, Zach Bond has played pretty well. But other than that, I mean, you can't say. I mean, the last game, the whole defense, they missed 18 tackles?
18 tackles.
I mean, in a game like that, they can't get to the quarterback and they can't tackle. I think what you got to do is, and see, this is where, I think the point you're making, which is you got to get some pressure on the quarterback some way. You can't just stay there in that defense and say, well, we're not going to go after them. And then I didn't like the fact that Vic didn't tell the guys, they come over on the sideline, get up on the receivers, man. He's saying, well, he's telling them, they can do it when they want to. They can go up and they can jam the guys rather than look, we got to get more aggressive. I think the coaches got to say that. They go on the sideline. Look, get up on these guys. We can't just sit there and watch them march down the field. After they march down the first time, you're going to tell me you don't pull them together and go, hey, look, we can't let these guys just tear us apart, man. We got to get aggressive. So I didn't like that. After the game, said, well, they could have moved up. Did you tell them during the game, move up on the guys? I mean, they're like, well, they know they can. I mean, I don't get it. I know he likes to play a conservative type of a defense where he doesn't want to give up the big play. But if you're just letting a team, they march 4 times right down the field and score a touchdown, the way you don't have to change something up. I think you got to change something up. So I think it's players and coaches that are the problem that last game, man, on both sides of the ball. I don't get, what are you doing? I don't understand. You just sit there and you let them just march right down the field, especially you got the young kid. Come on, you're going to let the young kid over there where you don't tell him, get up on the guy, man.
Yeah.
We got to take that away, and
Garry, is that communication that they're not good at it back there in the back end yet? Is that what the problem is? Is that because he even said we got to communicate better with these guys, because if you're leaving that up to those guys to press them, that's not being conveyed.
I mean, somebody's got to tell them to be more aggressive. I mean, after you got one drive, you're just going to sit there the whole first half, and they're just marching right down, score, march right down, score. You're sitting over there on the sideline. Come on, somebody's got to say something. So something's got to happen there. Then the tackling. Stay up on the guy. Stop going after, diving after a guy's ankles to try to make a tackle. What are you doing? Go up on the guy, wrap him up. We'll get some other people there to make a tackle. Because if you wrap a guy up, the other guys are going to come there and help you take him down. I mean, but you can't be going after guys' ankles and stuff. That's enough of that nonsense. Get up on the guy. Go in there and wrap this guy up and stay on your feet. Don't be just going after a guy's ankles. You can't play football like that. Come on.
Garry, the NFC East. Now you got Jaden Daniels.
Oh, man. And I tell you, I saw that, boy. I said, oh, boy, man.
Cowboys get a win over the Steelers last night. Now you have Dime Jones and the Giants going out to Seattle and surprising that team out there.
Wow.
The NFC East, these games, where you may have penciled in some wins here with Washington and New York. And with the way, like you said, 18 missed tackles, the way the defense has been and the way the inconsistency has been and the injuries on the offensive side, that run to the NFC East is not going to be, I think, what a lot of Eagle fans thought, a little bit easier than we had projected, because that Jaden Daniels in Washington now, that guy looks like the real deal. And Cliff Kingsbury and Brian Johnson have done a hell of a job with that kid.
Well, it's not just there. Their defense is playing well, too.
Yeah, linebackers are playing great.
You see that. I mean, but you do see the fact that, man, this kid is, he's putting the ball. I mean, he's throwing the ball deep. It seems like they putting him in position to make plays. Of course, you see the way the kid can run. And so, that's a threat all the time. So anytime somebody loses contain or anything, you got a problem, because this kid can really run. So, I watched the game, man. I tell you, I didn't come out of that game feeling good at all. After looking at them play, I'm saying, okay, I can see what they're doing, and you can see how they're playing. They just got a great. It seems like just the chemistry on the team, that the Commanders have got something going, and they can see with this kid, man. He's going to put pressure on you all the time, because anybody loses contain or anything, he's got the wheels, and you can see this kid can run, and he's got a great arm, man. And the deep throws he was making, and I've seen the highlights, but I hadn't really saw him play, in one of the games, and that wasn't really one of his better games. I mean, he didn't start the game off well, but you see he's got composure, and with the way their defense is playing, I say, and you can see they're having a good time. You could, so it's going to be a challenge. The Eagles have got a challenge, but the big thing they got to do is they got to get their act together, and you got to get that offense going, because the offense is the strength of the team. And so getting AJ and Devontae and them back out there, and getting Jalen to, taking care of the ball and playing the way he's capable of playing, that's going to be the key to the season, because I don't think you could look at the defense and say, well, this defense is going to carry us.
Finally,
I don't think that defense. Yeah.
How big a game is this on Sunday here? And emotionally, coming out of a bye, you were injured. You've got a team on the ropes right now, and injured that Chubb, I don't know if he's playing. Deshaun Watson hasn't played well, but you've wobbled yourself a little bit coming out of the gate. I mean, I'll tell you what, Gary, they lose this ball game on Sunday to the Browns, the city will light that team on fire, man. If that thing goes south here, because this is a game you should win pretty handily. The Buccaneers were right around these same type of numbers heading into that game. Now, that game was down in Tampa, and the heat and all that other shit kind of maybe played a role in this, but the Bucs were down in the 20s offensively. The Bucs were down there in the 20s defensively. You got a great coordinator, and let's not forget about Kevin Stefanski. He's a two-time NFL Coach of the Year, and you have Jim Schwartz on the other side. I mean, this is good. I think this is going to be a tougher game than what people think.
I think you can depend on them, because they're fighting for their lives. I mean,
that's right,
and they know jobs. That, and jobs right now. Deshaun Watson. I mean, I looked at that game too. I mean, he looks awful. He doesn't have
He's
a field.
Wide open guys, Gary.
No accuracy. Just doesn't seem like he's reading the coverages, and he's having problems, looking downfield. He doesn't look as fast as he was previously. So they should be able to go in there and really get after them. Now, defensively, they got some good players on that defensive side of the ball.
Tremendous players.
The Eagles are going to have to go out. They're going to have to go there, and they're going to play well. And we need to see some of that team that went down to New Orleans. That's going to be the key, because defensively, they got to show up, and they got to play much better than they have been playing. Or you could end up what? I mean, if Cleveland can score some points, they got a good defense. So you're not going to score for so many. But the big thing the Eagles have got to do is they got to take care of their own business. They got to come in and they got to play well. And that means the offense moving the ball. And that's key. That means their best players are on the opposite side of the ball. So they got to show up and they got to play well.
Gary, Bernie Kosar told me this morning, he said that they believe if they score first and they get 14 or 17 up, 17-7, they think they can beat them. He says that's what the Bucks mentality was. Jim Schwartz was talking to Todd. He says, once we got the lead on them, they were not coming back because they didn't have comeback capability. Now, that was because obviously AJ and Devontae weren't there. But for them to get away from Barkley, which Todd Bowles, talking to Bruce Arians, said that they were shocked they got away from Bowles or they got away from Barkley in the second half.
Yeah.
But Jim Schwartz believes if they get a lead on them, they have the defense to stop that offense because, again, that defense a year ago was number 1 in the league. We're not talking about a defense that doesn't have talent on all levels. They believe they can stop them.
Now, Washington got after him, and Washington was able to throw the ball downfield.
Yep.
Washington did a lot of good things, and the kid, at times when they made mistakes on the corner, he got outside and he hurt them with his legs. So I know Jalen will be looking for that as well. But the big thing they got to execute their offense. They got to get the ball to Barkley. I'd like to see them try to run the ball some. With a good back and a good offensive line, they got to go in and enforce their will on other teams. But offensively, they got to have a good day in order to beat Cleveland. So it's not going to be, Cleveland's fighting for their lives. I mean,
don't you think,
I know
Garry,
they got a bad record. Yeah.
Don't you think the Eagles have to play 60 minutes of football each and every single game the rest of the way out because they don't have the defense to shut people down? And you know what? I'll say this about everybody else in the NFC, to be fair to Philly. I don't really see a dominant team in the NFC. I mean, if you're sold on Minnesota, okay. But yet they haven't been through all this in a while, okay. But outside of them, I mean, Detroit's wobbled. Look at San Francisco. Yeah. They just got beaten, killed really by Arizona. So, I mean, everybody's pretty much wobbling in the NFC right now.
That's right. I mean, so they're going to have their work. I mean, Washington keeps playing like they're playing. I mean, they're going to be tough to catch. So Eagles got to go out and they got to take care of their business. I mean, it's that simple. The coaches, they got to lean on their best players. You got to give Barkley a chance to do things. Of course, you got the passing game there. They got to play the way they're capable. But the offense is where they're spending all the money. So the offense really is what's got to carry this team. I mean, it's that simple. They know that. We kind of knew that coming into the season. The defense has been disappointing. So it's even more true than we thought it was. But clearly, the offense has got to carry this football team. So they are going to be the key to the rest of the season. And it starts this week against a good defense. But they got to play the way they're capable of, and they need a good game out of everybody.
Absolutely. Garry, I appreciate it, my friend. By the way, it's a Fox game on Fox 29 in Philadelphia, 1 p.m. Eastern.
Yep.
Browns will go into Lincoln Financial versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Garry, thanks a lot, my friend. I appreciate it.
If it gets ugly, I hope it doesn't get ugly, man. You don't want it. You don't want it to get ugly over at the Lincoln Financial Field.
No. Hey, you think Castellanos got booed? You think Castellanos got – oh, by the way, I've got just a little precursor here, just so if you ever around any Eagle fans or anybody else, don't ever have Sirianni go to a Phillies game because he's like the Philly version of Drake. Okay? I mean, he's just bad luck. I mean, okay? Don't have him show up, man, because that's not a good look.
He needs to be handling his business. He got a lot of tape to look at. So you go over there and look at some more tape.
Absolutely, man. Go take a look at Amari Cooper and all them guys. Garry, I appreciate it, my friend.
All right. Hey, take it easy.
You got it. Don't forget to catch the game on Fox 29 in Philadelphia. Please hit the like button. Come on, Dick Train. It's going to be a big game this weekend, baby. Absolutely. Are you crazy? Holy cow. This game, Big Sills is taking the points. Big Sills is taking the points in the Browns. Dick Train, come on, man. You ain't winning that game on Sunday. Who, with what? Tyrod Hurts? Guy's a liability. Are you kidding me, man? Yeah. Hey, Teddy Bridgewater Hurts. Pick one, my friend. Sills, what do you think about the kid from Texas A&M? Yeah, no, he's a good football player. We'll take a look more of that stuff here coming up as we get further into the college football season. Absolutely. Man, what are you crazy, Dick Train? This is going to Jalen Hurts MVP. Shit, Jalen Hurts hasn't looked like an MVP in a year and a half. Guy looks like a bum. Come on, Dick. Dick Train's rooting for a dude right now that's common and one of the bottom 5 quarterbacks in the league. I can't wait till the top 10 QBs come out. Hey, you want to see a QB tonight? Yep. He'll be with Big Red tonight. He'll be with Big Red. Do me a favor, guys. Please hit the like button. Week 5 of the National Football League. We'll take a look. Hey, one of my favorite lines of the weekend. Last night, Mike Tomlin was asked about the loss to the Cowboys. He goes, there's a difference between squashing grapes and drinking wine. Oh, my God, I'm going to steal that. Jalen Hurts squashes grapes. And Patrick Mahomes drinks the wine. Oh, my God. Hey, difference between squashing grapes and drinking wine. You guys have a guy who squashes grapes. Holy cow, man. Absolutely. Yes, sir, Dick Train. Look at Dick Train trying to compare that turd of a quarterback to Josh Allen. No. No. Can you imagine if Jalen had Josh Allen's talent? It would be like, here would be the stat line, Xander. 5 of 9 and 30 carries for 82 yards. You think he was playing at Kansas? Oh, you think he was an old wishbone quarterback at Houston or Texas Tech? Jalen Hurts' stat line, 5 of 9, 62 yards, 32 carries for 88 yards rushing. Hit the like button. We'll reset. Keep it here, National Football Show.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify.